Salve. Anyways, this is Chainsawman, which is the final issue of part 1, and it's shown in Jump. And you can see there's Pochita, and then it's like Denji. My dream was to hug someone, was to have someone hug me. Sounds easy, right? Except I'm too strong, so it was actually really hard. But you made my dream come true. So, you know, it took me a while to figure out what Chainsawman was really about, but I'm not really going to tell people because I don't want to ruin it. But this panel really made me think. I don't know how much I'll get through, but like, for example, my father, from the day that I was born till the day that he died, when I was probably in 8th grade, you know, I was about like 12 or 13, never hugged me, never showed any affection. So it's just like, you know what I mean? It really makes me think. And you know, there's a lot of symbolism and stuff. So here was Pochita, but since Pochita was so intimidating, so feared by people, no one would hug Pochita. So no one would hug. I have gaps of years where I don't even have hugs. My dad never showed me any affection either. So it's basically, it makes me think of a lot of things. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, he had a tough life. He was abandoned at birth. He had the instructions never to be adopted. If he cried, they'd like lock him in the closet, things like that. So you know what I mean? It wasn't like he was treated well or anything. And you know, it definitely, like, you know, like, I'm not sure his real origins or something, but like Italians were enemy aliens until 1942. They couldn't own guns, they couldn't travel. They were in internment camps too. You hear about the Japanese, but you don't hear about the Italians because people don't care about Italians. So, but it also made me think about relationships too. So basically there's someone that I know, like, they go by the name Pac, and you know, and I actually really thought of Pac in a lot of ways with this, because like, when I first saw Pac, she was like, she had a band like Pac Nation. She'd opened for like Guns N' Roses, like 100,000 people in Mexico City or something like that. Really beautiful, amazing looking. You know, she'd perform, she'd have a hair spike like the Aztec paint and stuff. She's not going to see this, so I'm not really too worried, but it's like, so I kind of could think of her, like, I used to think she was just a diva sometimes when she wouldn't talk to people and she'd isolate. Because, you know, creative people would do that. So I was thinking, like, she was probably intimidating to people, or they were feared of her, you know, she just needed a hug. So, you know what I mean? I kind of thought of that, like, with her in a way. And, yeah, it was weird, because, like, there was always something special about her when I saw her. And I don't know how she started to talk to me. I don't know how she, like, made me my friend. And sometimes she'd even comment on my stuff. And when I got hurt, and I needed a C5, C7 neck fusion, she offered to come to Mexico to have my dogs go to Mexico to take care of the dogs. I mean, most people would have jumped at that chance, but I was really worried how she would do, because, you know, I didn't know she had lived in New York before. I know someone that came home from Guatemala, and he had like 5 black guys run at him, and he thought they needed to pass, so he goes to go, like, to let him pass. They beat him up really bad, and they tried to stab him, but he had so many layers of clothing on that it, you know, it didn't actually, you know what I mean? But this is the other thing, you know, here's like the fan translation. And you can see in the fan's translation it says, "But I was so strong and fearsome, it was actually really hard to accomplish." So I think that's a little bit different too. But so anyways, you know, to me that was really cool to offer, but at the same time, I was really worried how things would be at her. I was in isolated depression because of the my neck injury. The girl that I helped, that I got injured, she basically said, "Who's going to want you now that you're hurt?" And Harry was like the person I love the most, I think the most in the world. She's like offering to help me, so I can't even process that. So when I grew up too, all I know is negatives, and I was even robbed at an early age. It's like, all I could think of is that someone would try to rob me. So do you know what I mean? Like, even that girl, Aura, she once offered to sleep on, you know, my room with me in my bed, and I'm thinking, you know what, first of all, I don't trust her, you know, now you're in the bed with her, you know what I mean, they can accuse you of something. But second of all, I believe she'd rob me. I really thought she'd rob me. Even if I leave the room, I think people will rob me. I think they'll try to take stuff and stuff. So, you know, I don't know if I hurt her feelings, but it was also like, you're on like the Oxycontin, you're on like the painkillers, so it really makes your mood really horrible. You can't really do anything, you know what I mean? So you really don't even want anyone to see you. You don't even want anyone to be around you and stuff. So it's like, even though you might need a hug, you might need love and affection, you can't really do that. And you know, I still don't know why she would help me. I don't even grasp it. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't talk to me that much. You know, I still communicate with her a little bit, but it seems like she's got her own thing going on. But you know what I mean? So I really thought of her. I even suggested she use the name Chef Pochita. It's like a Pochita or Pochita, because she does, like, you know, cooking. She's like a chef too now, and you know she's Pak, and I offered ITA to add the ITA to it. So I started thinking of her as almost like Pochita from Chainsaw Man. So it's like, you know what I mean? I think this is a message to people that have like family issues, relationship issues, and stuff. You know what I mean? And then like, you know what I mean? So I think there's a deeper meaning to it. And even the part with the control devil, she wanted to form equal relationship with others. So it's like, you know what I mean? You can't put people on a pedestal. You got to have like an equal relationship with them and stuff. I had a lot more that I was going to say, but you know what? My mind went a little blank. The dogs had me going in and out. But yeah, so it's like, I always think like, just because you might be intimidated or fearful of someone, it doesn't mean that they don't need a hug. It doesn't mean that they're not a sweet and sensitive person. You know what I mean? It might not be a family member. It might be someone that you want to have a relationship with. And I mean, in Chainsaw Man, I always think Power is the girl for Denji, and I can relate to her with the PTSD and the other stuff. And, you know what I mean? You know, I think my life would have been better if I let Pak come and help me then. And now I don't think I'll ever really get to see her, hang out with her. But it was almost like, it's almost like God saying, hey, you want me to come by? Because like to me, I'd almost look at her as almost like a goddess, like a personification of everything good and beautiful in the world. That's how I see Pak. So I guess it's kind of silly. I have no idea what she thinks of me. I mean, I'm stunned that she communicated with me. She commented on my stuff that she'd want to help. It means it's like I can't even process that, because it's like all I know is negative. People negative towards me, treating me negative. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, I go gaps of years where I don't even have hugs and stuff. So I know there's some people that don't like the way Chainsaw Man Part 1 ended, but it's a pretty good series, and I think you should really check it out, because you might be able to relate it to. It took me a while to understand what Chainsaw Man was about. I'm not going to explain it to others. So it's like, yeah, so I don't know, I kind of think of Pak as like Pochita in some ways. When I first started talking, she seemed intimidating and fearsome, and now it's like, you know, I kind of see it more like the sweet little, cute little Pochita thing. You know what I mean? Like that. Like a really cute, you know, she dressed like Pikachu once. She was really cool. But yeah, you know, I'm going to die alone. Things are never going to work out for me. But if I could have a relationship with anybody in the world right now, it would probably be Pak. She's like really cool. But you know what I mean? I really cared about her. So it's like, if I didn't care about her, I would have said, yeah, sure, come help out. I wouldn't even cared what happened to her. But, you know, I really worried how things would be for her. That was probably the biggest worry. I didn't know she lived in New York before. You know, New York's not an easy place, especially if you've never lived there. You know what I mean? You know how she's going to be. I can't really do anything. I mean, I'm like, you know, I have a C5, C7 neck fusion. I should be paralyzed from the neck down as it is. I have nerve damage. So I'm trying to recover from that. When I was always the person when I'd go to the party, people would want to feel my abs and see my abs. So it's like, you know, health and fitness was a big deal for me, and then it was like that was taken away. And then the girl that I was helping was like, who's going to want you now that you're hurt? So it's like, I'm thinking, well, why would anyone even want to be around me? You know what I mean? You're like that isolated depression. Plus, there's a horrible person to be around. She's on the Oxycontin. That really screws with your mood. But yeah, you know, just even if someone's intimidating and you're fearful of them, roll the dice. Maybe there's more to it. Send them a message. See what happens. You never know. Worst case scenario, it doesn't work out. But if it works out, you know, maybe it'll work out. I mean, yeah. Now they're going to have Part 2 of Chainsaw Man, so I'm kind of hoping that he finds power. And I wish this was better, but yeah, you know, I can really relate to this. Because like I said, you know, from my dad to like relationships to other things, and I suggest you give it a try. You know, I don't want to ruin too much, but yeah, it definitely grew on me. And, you know, it's not what you might think it is, but there's a lot of metaphor, a lot of symbols in it. And, yeah, I hope everyone checks out Chainsaw Man. And, Pak, if you hear this, I love you. I think you're great. And I hope things work out as a chef. And, you know, you just got to keep going and just don't give up. You have a real high presentation with your food. Very impressive what you do. And, yeah, I'm impressed by it. And I'm a pretty good cook, but I'm organic vegetarian. I don't really have to cook that much stuff. You know what I mean? But anyways, take care, everybody. And, yeah, make sure you check out Chainsaw Man. This is from Chainsaw Man 97. It was a decent ending to Part 1, and a lot of people are probably disappointed, but give it a try. All right, and take care.